All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanan. In this video, we're going to talk about Jermall Charlo and Jaime Munguia's situation and how it completely exposes what's going on with Jaime Munguia. New developments have come out. A lot of conversation about the fight offer being made by Jermall Charlo being turned down by Golden Boy Promotions and Jaime Munguia. Let's talk about that in this video. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanan, and we're going to talk about the 160-pound division in this video, specifically Jermall Charlo and Jaime Munguia. But before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, I hope that you accept my invitation to subscribe to the channel and then hit the bell icon so you can get notified of all the notifications. Also, if you wager on sports, make sure you check us out, our betting partner out at busr.ag/Fanan, and take advantage of those promotional codes where you can get a lot of benefits through that promotional code to expand your value over there on that site. Now, let's get to this. Start with the end of this. Jaime Munguia is a fraud. Been saying that since he was at 154 pounds. He is a guy that is a young fighter, an aggressive fighter, a big fighter, but in my opinion is somebody that they have been trying to make a star out of for a long time and have gone out of their way to have that dude avoid any real competition while they do it. When he was at 154 pounds, he was the WBO champion. He won that belt off of a guy, Saddam Ali, who I do believe might have been naturally like 140. He fought at 147, like 140 pounds. Saddam Ali, he beat Saddam Ali, wins the belt. Meanwhile, the PBC has basically what you call a tournament, what you could refer to as a 154-pound tournament, where all these guys are fighting each other. You got Erislandy Lara, you have Jermall Charlo, Tony Harrison, Jared Hurd, J-Rock, Julian Williams is J-Rock. All these guys fighting each other to consolidate those other three belts, while Jaime Munguia sits over there and fights a bunch of who cares and doesn't even behave like he wants anything to do with those belts, those other belts, right? However, what people were saying about Jaime Munguia at the time was he's young, he's developing, he's not ready for those guys, whatever, right? So he goes up to 100. Now he's up at 160 pounds, and he's been up at 160 pounds for a minute. He has been offered a fight with Jermall Charlo for the WBC championship. And the reports came out yesterday that the negotiations had ceased because of some demands that are being made by Golden Boy and DAZN for Jaime Munguia. Well, Steven Espinoza and Oscar De La Hoya both were on Twitter yesterday, and they basically talked about what it is, and you get a good idea of what that portion of the problem was. There's a more significant portion of the problem, but we'll get to that second. In this particular scenario, as far as it goes with the network problem, it is this. And I say network problem in quotation marks because I think the network problem is really just a cover for the in-the-ring problem for Jaime Munguia, and that they have a different plan to get Jaime Munguia a championship belt than trying to get it out of the hands of Jermall Charlo. But what Steven Espinoza said was that they had made an offer for the fight to be on Showtime because TGB or Tom Brown or the TGB, which is a promotional company that is affiliated with the PBC, affiliated with Showtime, made the offer and is paying for the fight. He also said that no one else had made an offer for the fight, including DAZN. Never offered or tried to make the fight between Jermall Charlo and Jaime Munguia. Oscar De La Hoya, for his part, released a statement and said that that making this fight between Charlo and Jaime Munguia is a top priority. DAZN understand but Golden Boy is loyal to DAZN, And DAZN knows how much this means, and DAZN and the willingness to collaborate with Showtime, right? They understand. So DAZN is willing to collaborate with Showtime. We hope Showtime is willing to collaborate with DAZN. So, in essence, what Steven Espinoza said was, we are paying for the fight. And in the offer that they made to Golden Boy, they said that if they can put a rematch clause in there, if Jaime Munguia wins the fight, then Jaime Munguia and Jermall Charlo can go fight on DAZN, and you guys can pay for the fight, and you guys can have the fight. No worries. But if we're going to pay for the fight, we're going to air the fight. I have to suppose that if DAZN is not willing to pay for the fight, then what Oscar De La Hoya is saying is let DAZN air the fight, even though Showtime, TGB, is actually paying for the fight, which is something you know is not going to happen. Now, people have also came out and said, well, there's been other fighters from PBC that have gone to fight on other networks. Sean Porter went to go fight with Terrence Crawford on ESPN. Andy Ruiz went and fought Anthony Joshua for 2 fights on DAZN. So what's the problem with Jermall Charlo going over there? Steven Espinoza's answer to that was they were paying for those fights. So it wasn't an issue because they were paying for the fights. In a scenario where we're paying for the fights, we're only going to pay for fights, or the PBC and Showtime, Jermall Charlo's team and TGB are only going to pay for the fight if they get to choose the network, and the network that they're choosing is Showtime. Now, why would they choose Showtime? More than likely because Showtime is paying a big fee, guaranteed a fee to them to air the fight before they agree to pay for it. So the idea that, and this is why I'm saying it's a ruse. The fact, and what Oscar De La Hoya is saying, if they're not willing, if they didn't offer and are offering or aren't actually offering to pay for the fight, then what kind of collaboration could there possibly be? But here is where the game is probably really going with this. They are betting, and this is the rumor that's going around with Twitter, on Twitter, that Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions and Jaime Munguia are betting that Jermall Charlo will eventually vacate that WB. If he can't get a significant fight at 160 pounds, then he is eventually going to have to vacate that belt and move up. So that would leave Jaime Munguia with the opportunity to fight for a vacant WBC belt and not have to fight Jermall Charlo to get it. He could also have taken the WBO. He also could take the route and fight for it when Demetrius Andrade moves up, right? They could order a fight between Jaime Munguia to get the WBO belt. However, I have a suspicion that the WBC probably wants Jaime Munguia as a champion and would bend over backwards to give Jaime Munguia a shot at Jermall Charlo's vacant belt, which makes sense to me because I highly suspect that Jaime Munguia is not going to beat Jermall Charlo in a boxing match because Jaime Munguia, like I said in the beginning of this, is just not that good a fighter. And I would give him somewhere around a puncher's chance to beat Jermall Charlo in a fight. However, I never believed when all the conversations came up about how Jaime Munguia was going to accept the fight with Jermall Charlo. Never made sense to me, man, because Jaime Munguia has been a protected fighter the entire time that I've known who he was. He is yet to fight a serious competition, and for him to go up from a fight with a definitely shot Gabriel Rosado, and jumping up to a Jermall Charlo is a recipe for him losing. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.